The strangest part wasn't the noise. It wasn't the footsteps. It wasn't even the voice I heard in the middle of the night. The strangest part was this. The apartment above mine didn't exist. This happened when I moved into a new apartment for work. The building was old, but it was cheap and close to my office. It had 4 floors, and I was living on the top floor, or at least that's what I was told. There was no apartment above me. No 5th floor. No attic. Nothing. Just the roof. For the first few days, everything was completely normal. Quiet. Peaceful. Exactly what I needed. Until one night, everything changed. It started around 2:12 a.m. I woke up suddenly. At first, I didn't know why. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Walking across the ceiling above me. Step. 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 I froze. That made no sense. There was no one living above me. I sat up in bed and listened carefully. The footsteps continued, moving from one side of the room to the other. Back and forth. Like someone packing. I told myself there had to be a logical explanation. Maybe sound was traveling from another apartment. Maybe it was the pipes. Old buildings make strange noises sometimes. But deep down, I knew this was different. Because the footsteps had a rhythm. They sounded like someone walking. Not random noise. Not pipes. Not wind. Someone. The next night, it happened again. Same time. 2:12 a.m. The footsteps started. But this time, something was different. They stopped directly above my bed. And then I heard something else. A faint sound. Like someone whispering. I couldn't understand the words. But I knew one thing. The voice was coming from directly above me. The next day, I went to talk to the landlord. I asked him if there was any storage space or hidden room above my apartment. He looked confused. No, he said. There's nothing above your unit, just the roof. I explained the footsteps. The sounds. He shook his head. It's probably the building settling, he said. Old buildings make noises. That was the same explanation I had given myself. But hearing it from him didn't make me feel better. That night, I decided to stay awake. I wanted to hear it clearly. To understand what was happening. I turned off all the lights and lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Waiting. Time passed slowly. 1:30 a.m. 1:50 a.m. 2:10 a.m. Then, 2:12 a.m. The footsteps started again. Louder this time. Slower. More deliberate. Step. 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 They moved across the ceiling. Then stopped. Right above me. And then, I heard a voice. Clear this time. Whispering. It said, "Can you hear me?" My heart started pounding. I sat up slowly and stared at the ceiling. The voice came again. Softer this time. "Why are you down there?" I didn't respond. I couldn't. Then something happened that I will never forget. A soft knocking sound. From above. Knock. 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 Directly above my head. The next morning I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed a ladder and went up to the roof. I needed to see for myself. When I reached the roof, everything looked normal. Just an empty surface. No rooms. No entrances. Nothing. But then I noticed something strange. Near the center of the roof, there was a small metal hatch. Almost hidden. I slowly walked toward it. My heart was racing. The hatch was slightly open. Just a few inches. Darkness inside. I bent down and looked through the gap. At first I saw nothing. Just darkness. Then my eyes adjusted, and I realized something that made my blood run cold. There was a space under the roof, a narrow hidden room, and inside that space, someone was standing, looking up at me. Smiling. The night felt wrong. Not loud, not chaotic. Just wrong. Arif had been working for hours, his eyes locked onto the glow of his laptop screen. Outside, the city had fallen into that rare, fragile silence that only existed after 2 a.m., when even the restless seemed to give up. The clock in the corner of his screen read 2:17 a.m. He leaned back in his chair, stretching his stiff shoulders. Another export, another client, another deadline. This was his life now, editing videos for strangers across the world while his own world shrank into a dim apartment and a glowing screen. But tonight, something felt off. He couldn't explain it. It wasn't a sound. It wasn't a shadow. It was a feeling. The kind that crawls under your skin and sits there. Watching. Waiting. Arif shook his head and forced himself back to work. Just stress, he muttered. He clicked on his timeline to render the final video. And then, the screen flickered. Once, twice, the timeline disappeared. Arif frowned. What the? Before he could react, a file opened on its own. No click, no command. Just opened. The file name appeared in the center of the screen. Room 13 Final, MP4. Arif froze. I didn't make this. His fingers hovered over the mouse. The video began to play. Grainy footage filled the screen like something recorded on an old CCTV camera. The colors were washed out, the movement slightly delayed. The camera faced a door. A very familiar door. Arif leaned forward slowly. That's... His throat tightened. That's my front door. The camera moved. Slowly, smoothly, unnaturally smooth. It approached the door. Arif turned his head, glancing at his real front door just a few feet away. Still closed. Still normal. Still real. Back on the screen, the door creaked open. The video entered. The apartment looked identical. Same sofa. Same table. Same dim light. But something was different. The shadows were deeper. Thicker. Like they were alive. The camera glided toward the hallway. Arif's heartbeat began to rise. No. He whispered it before he even knew why. The hallway appeared on screen. And at the end of it, a door. A third door. Arif stood up instantly. There's no third door. His apartment had only 2 rooms. Bedroom, kitchen. That was it. But in the video, there it was. A door that shouldn't exist. Dark wooden, worn. And on it, carved roughly into the surface. 13. The camera stopped in front of it. Silence. Then, knock, knock, knock. The sound came from inside the video. Arif felt his chest tighten. Someone or something was on the other side. The door slowly creaked open. Pitch darkness inside. Not just darkness. Depth. Like the room wasn't a room at all. But a hole. And then, a whisper. Soft. Close. Too close. You shouldn't still be here. The video cut to black. Arif didn't move. He couldn't. His breath came in short, shallow bursts. This isn't real. He reached for the mouse. Paused the video. The room fell silent again. Normal. Safe. Right. Then, From behind him. Knock, knock, knock. Arif's entire body locked. That sound. It didn't come from the laptop. It came from his apartment. From the hallway. Slowly, he turned his head. His vision trembled. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. And then, he saw it. At the end of his hallway. A door. It hadn't been there before. But now, it was. Dark wood. Scratched surface. And carved into it. 13. Arif stood there for what felt like minutes. Maybe longer. Time didn't make sense anymore. This is a dream, he whispered. He pinched his arm. Hard. Pain shot through his skin. Not a dream. The door remained. Still. Silent. Waiting. A cold draft brushed against his bare feet. But his windows were closed. His AC was off. That air. It was coming from the hallway. From the door. Arif swallowed hard. Every instinct screamed at him to stay away. To ignore it. To go back. But something else. Something deeper. Pulled him forward. Step by step. The floor felt colder with each movement. As if the temperature dropped the closer he got. The hallway seemed longer than before. Stretching. Breathing. Changing. Finally, he stood in front of it. Door 13. Up close it looked older. Older than the building. The wood was cracked. Uneven. There were faint markings across it. Not scratches. Not exactly. More like something had tried to get out. From the inside. Arif raised his hand. Hesitated. His fingers hovered inches from the surface. And then, he touched it. Ice cold. Not cool. Not chilled. Cold like something that had never felt warmth. His breath hitched. A voice echoed in his mind. Clear. Sharp. Don't open it. He pulled his hand back instantly. Shaking. But then, another voice. Quieter. Deeper. More familiar. You already did. Arif's eyes widened. Before he could react, his hand moved. On its own. Gripping the handle. Twisting. The door creaked open. Slowly. Painfully slow. Darkness spilled out. Not like shadow. Like liquid. Like something alive. Arif turned on his phone flashlight. The beam cut into the darkness. Revealing. A room. But not normal. The walls were wrong. Too far apart. Too tall. Like the space didn't obey rules. And on the walls. Photographs. Dozens. Hundreds. Arif stepped inside. The air felt thick. Heavy. Like breathing underwater. He moved toward the nearest photo. And froze. It was him. Sleeping. In his bed. Face twisted in fear. He grabbed another. Him again. Sitting at his desk. Editing. But behind him. A shadow. Tall. Watching. Arif's hands began to tremble. No, no, no. Another photo. Him in the hallway. Standing exactly where he had been moments ago. Facing the door. Door 13. How? A loud slam echoed behind him. Arif spun around. The door. Gone. Not closed. Gone. Only a wall remained. Seamless. Unbroken. No. He rushed forward. Pressed his hands against it. Solid. Real. No handle. No escape. The room shifted. The walls stretched farther. The light dimmed. His flashlight flickered. Once. Twice. Then stabilized. Barely. And then, a voice. Right behind him. His voice. You took your time. Arif froze. Slowly, he turned around and saw himself standing a few feet away. Same face, same body, but the eyes, empty, completely black. No white, no reflection, just void. The other Arif smiled, a slow, unnatural smile. I was starting to think you'd never come. Arif stumbled back. What are you? The thing tilted its head. I'm what stayed behind. Silence. I'm what you don't remember. Arif's heart raced. I don't understand. The double stepped closer. You weren't supposed to leave. The air grew colder. You forgot this place. A pause. But it didn't forget you. The walls pulsed. Like a heartbeat. The photos began to shift. Chain. New images appearing. Arif looked around. Every picture now showed the same thing. Him, standing in room 13. Watching himself. Looping. Endless. You opened the door once before, the double whispered. And you left. A step closer. This time, its smile widened. You stay. The flashlight died. Darkness swallowed everything. Arif screamed. And the sound never came out. Story 2. It started with a message. Nothing unusual. Nothing scary. Just a simple notification that popped up on Mazabin's phone at 1:08 a.m. Tania, are you awake? Mazabin groaned softly, her eyes barely opening as the glow of her phone lit up the dark room. She had fallen asleep scrolling like always. She blinked, unlocked the phone, typed back. Yeah, what happened? 3 dots appeared instantly. Typing. Stopping. Typing again. Then, do you ever feel like someone is watching you? Mazabin frowned. Not this again, she muttered. Tania had always been a little dramatic. Horror movies, creepy TikToks, late-night paranoia, she loved all of it. Mazabin replied. You watched something again, didn't you? A pause. Longer this time. Then, no. Another message followed almost immediately. I'm serious. Mazabin sighed and sat up, rubbing her eyes. Okay, what's going on? She typed. What happened? This time, Tania didn't reply immediately. Instead, a voice note came in. 6 seconds long. Mazabin hesitated. Then tapped play. Static. Low. Faint. And then, a whisper. Not Tania's voice. Something else. Something wrong. Don't look behind you. The audio cut. Mazabin's stomach dropped. She replayed it. Same thing. Static. Whisper. Silence. She quickly typed. That's not funny. Scene. Typing. Then. Stopped. The typing indicator disappeared. Tania, she whispered. No response. She waited. 1 minute. 2. 5. Still nothing. Then, her phone buzzed again. A message. But not from Tania. From WhatsApp status. Tania updated her status. Time 1:16 a.m. Mazabin frowned. That fast. She tapped it. The video opened. Dark, blurry, shaky. It took a second for her eyes to adjust. Then, she saw Tanya, sitting on the floor, in a dimly lit room. Her hair messy, face pale, eyes wide, too wide. She was staring directly at the camera, not blinking, not moving, just staring. Then, she spoke, slowly, flat. He's still here. Mazabin felt a chill run down her spine. Tanya. The video continued. The camera shifted slightly, like someone was holding the phone. But Tanya wasn't touching it. Her hands were visible, resting on her knees. Then, the camera tilted, just a little, enough to show, behind her, a shape, tall, dark, standing in the corner, not moving, not clear, but there, watching. The video ended abruptly. Mazabin's heart was racing now. She immediately called Tanya. Ringing, ringing, ringing. Then, call ended. No answer. She tried again. Same result. Her fingers trembled as she opened the chat. Typed fast. Where are you? Who is that? Sent. Seen. No reply. Then, another message came. From Tanya. Did you see it? Mazabin swallowed. Yes, stop this, I'm calling you. Typing. Don't call. Her breath caught. Why? Typing. Stopped. Then, he doesn't like noise. A cold silence filled the room. Mazabin glanced around instinctively. Her own room suddenly felt unfamiliar. Too quiet. Too still. She shook her head. No, this is just a prank. She typed again. Where are your parents? Seen. Typing. They can't hear me. A pause. Then, he made sure of that. Mazabin's chest tightened. What does that even mean? She stood up from her bed, walked to her door, opened it. The hallway outside was dark. Empty. Normal. Right. She stepped out, checked the living room. Nothing. Everything fine. But her phone buzzed again. Another status update. 1:24 a.m. She hesitated, then opened it. This time, the video was clearer. Tanya was closer to the camera, her face filling most of the frame, her lips trembling, eyes filled with tears. He says you're watching too. Mazabin's heart skipped. What? The camera slowly turned. Slow. Deliberate. Like something was forcing it. And then, the corner again. But this time, the figure was closer. Much closer. Its shape more defined. Too tall. Too thin. Its head slightly tilted. And where its face should be. Nothing. Just darkness. The video glitched. Distorted. And just before it ended, the figure moved. A small step forward. Mazabin dropped her phone. It hit the floor with a dull thud. Her breathing became uneven. This isn't real. She picked it up again. Hands shaking. Opened the chat. Typed. I'm coming to your house. Sent. Instant reply. No. Another message. If you come, he'll see you too. Mazabin froze. Her reflection in the black screen stared back at her. But for a second, just a second, she thought. It blinked late. She quickly turned the screen back on. Heartbeat pounding. Tania, stop this right now. Typing. It's too late. Another message. He knows you now. The lights in Mazebin's room flickered. Once, twice, then stabilized. Her breath caught. Power issue. But deep down, she knew it was. Her phone buzzed again. A new message. But this time, from an unknown number. No name. No picture. Just a message. Don't turn around. Her body went cold. She didn't move. Didn't breathe. Slowly, she lowered the phone. Her eyes staring forward. Her mind screaming. Her body frozen. Behind her, she felt it. A presence. Close. Too close. Warm breath against her neck. A whisper. Soft. Right beside her ear. You looked. Her phone slipped from her hand. The screen cracked. But it was still recording. Still on. Still watching. And on that screen, in the reflection of the broken glass, something stood behind her. Smiling. The next morning, Tania was reported missing. No signs of forced entry. No struggle. Nothing unusual. Except her phone. Found on the floor. Screen cracked. Still open. Still recording. The last frame. Tania sitting in the dark. Looking at the camera. And behind her, another girl. Standing still. Face pale. Eyes wide. It was Mazebin. Status, last seen online 1:32 a.m. Story 2. Some buildings shouldn't exist. Not because they're abandoned. Not because they're dangerous. But because something inside them is awake. Navid never believed in things like that. Ghosts. Entities. Urban legends. To him, everything had a logical explanation. Until the night the elevator stopped listening. It was 11:42 p.m. when Navid finally shut down his computer. The office floor was empty. Rows of silent desks stretched into darkness, lit only by a few overhead lights that flickered occasionally, like they were struggling to stay alive. Navid rubbed his eyes and stood up. Finally, another long day. Another late night. He grabbed his bag and walked toward the elevator at the end of the hallway. His footsteps echoed unnaturally loud. The kind of echo that makes you feel like someone else is walking just half a second behind you. He stopped. Turned. Nothing. Empty office. Yeah, I need sleep. He reached the elevator. Pressed the button. The light turned on instantly. Too instantly. As if it was already waiting. The doors slid open with a soft mechanical hum. Inside. No one. Navid stepped in. Press G for ground floor. The doors closed. Silence. The elevator began to move. But something felt off immediately. Too smooth. Too quiet. No vibration. No mechanical sound. Just movement. Navid frowned and looked at the display panel. It didn't say G. It said. He blinked. What? He hadn't pressed that. And this building didn't have a basement. He quickly pressed G again. Nothing happened. The button didn't light up. He pressed it harder. Still nothing. The elevator continued descending. Slow. Steady. Unstoppable. Okay, not funny. He pressed every button. Emergency. None of them responded. The air inside the elevator grew colder. Noticeably colder. Navid's breath became faintly visible. That's not normal. The display flickered. His heart skipped. There is no -2. The lights inside the elevator dimmed slightly. Then steadied. Then dimmed again. The walls felt closer. Or maybe it was just him. The elevator slowed. Then stopped. The display went blank. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, ding, the doors slid open. Darkness. Not a dim hallway. Not low lighting. Just darkness. Complete. Absolute. Navi didn't move. This is a malfunction. He stepped forward cautiously. 1 foot outside the elevator. The air beyond was freezing. Heavy. Like stepping into a place that didn't want you there. He leaned forward slightly, trying to see. But there was nothing. No walls. No floor. Just black. Then, a sound. Soft. Barely audible. Footsteps. Coming from the darkness. Toward him. Navid stepped back into the elevator immediately. Hello. No answer. The footsteps stopped. Right outside. Right where the darkness began. The air grew colder. And then, something moved. A shape. Emerging slowly. From the void. A figure. A woman. Tall. Still. Her hair hung down, covering most of her face. Her clothes old. Outdated. Like from another time. She stepped into the light of the elevator. But her face remained hidden. Navid's throat tightened. Are you stuck too? No response. She stepped inside. The temperature dropped instantly. Navid could see his breath clearly now. The doors closed behind her. Silently, the elevator began to move again. Upward this time. Navid looked at the panel. Still blank. No floor indicator. Nothing. He glanced at the woman. She hadn't moved. Hadn't looked at him. Just standing there. Head slightly tilted down. Completely still. You work here? He asked. No response. Seconds passed. Then, she spoke. Her voice was wrong. Layered. Like multiple voices speaking at once. You weren't supposed to stop here. Navid felt a chill crawl up his spine. I didn't. The elevator. She slowly lifted her head. Too slowly. Unnaturally slow. You saw it. Navid stepped back slightly. Saw what? A pause. Then, the floor that doesn't exist. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then stabilized. Navid forced a nervous laugh. This is some kind of joke, right? The woman didn't react. Didn't blink. Didn't breathe. You opened the door. Her head tilted further. You looked inside. Navid's chest tightened. I didn't go in. A long silence. Then, that doesn't matter. The elevator suddenly jerked. Hard. The lights went out. Complete darkness. Navid gasped. Hello. The elevator dropped. Fast. Too fast. Like falling. Navid grabbed the railing. His heart racing. This isn't possible. Then, it stopped. Abruptly, the lights came back on. Dim. Flickering. The woman was gone. Navid spun around. Where? A voice. Behind him. Right behind him. You stayed. Navid froze. Slowly, he turned and saw himself standing in the corner of the elevator. Same clothes, same face, but the eyes, gone, just empty sockets. Dark, endless. The other Navid smiled. A wide, unnatural smile. You should have left. Navid stumbled back. What is this? The thing stepped forward. I did. A pause. But you didn't. The walls of the elevator began to stretch. Warp. The space expanded unnaturally. The floor beneath him felt unstable. Like it wasn't solid anymore. You keep coming back. Navid shook his head. No, this is a dream. The other version of him laughed. A hollow echoing sound. It always is. The lights flickered again. And suddenly, the elevator was full. Dozens of people, standing silently, all facing him, all with the same empty eyes. All versions of him. Different ages, different expressions, but all wrong. You don't remember, they whispered. Together, in sync. You never leave. The elevator doors opened. Again, darkness beyond. But this time, something moved inside it. Something big. Something waiting. The versions of Navid stepped closer, surrounding him. You belong here. The real Navid screamed. Tried to push through them. But they didn't move. Didn't react. Just watched. Smiling. The darkness outside pulsed. Like it was breathing. Waiting. Hungry. And then, everything went black. The next morning, the building opened as usual. Employees arrived. Coffee in hand. Yawning. Normal. Routine. But the elevator was out of order. A small sign hung on it. Typed. Simple. Do not use. No explanation. No warning. Just that. Inside, the panel flickered once, and for a brief moment, the display lit up. Then, Welcome Backstory 3. Some voices aren't meant to be heard again. Some were never meant to be recorded at all. Riyad didn't believe in haunted objects. He believed in logic, in sound waves, in frequencies, in things that could be measured. That's why he bought the recorder. Not because it was old, not because it looked strange, but because it was cheap. It was a small shop tucked between two closed stores, one selling broken electronics, the other permanently shuttered. The sign above it flickered weakly. No name, no branding, just a dim light and a dusty glass window. Riyad almost walked past it, but something caught his eye. A voice recorder. Old, silver, scratched, sitting alone in the display. He stepped inside. A bell rang faintly. No one at the counter. Hello. Silence. He walked closer, picked up the recorder. It felt heavier than it should. Cold. Like it had been sitting somewhere, untouched. How much? A voice answered from behind him. Take it. Riyad turned quickly. An old man stood there. He hadn't heard him enter. Free, Riyad asked. The man nodded slowly. But don't keep anything you hear. Riyad frowned. What does that mean? The old man didn't answer. Just stared. Unblinking. Riyad laughed it off. Okay, sure. He placed the recorder in his pocket. Walked out. The bell rang again. And when he turned back, the shop was dark. Closed. Like it had never been open. That night, Riyad sat at his desk. The recorder in front of him. He turned it over in his hands, examining it. Simple design. Old buttons. A small screen. Still working. Not bad. He pressed record. Testing 1, 2, 3. His voice echoed slightly in the quiet room. He pressed stop. Then play. The recording began. Clear. Sharp. Testing 1, 2, 3. Riyad nodded. Perfect. Then, a second voice. Faint. Underneath his. You shouldn't have taken it. Riyad froze. The playback continued. Then stopped. Silence. He stared at the recorder. That wasn't there. He replayed it. Same thing. His voice. Then, that whisper. Clearer this time. You shouldn't have taken it. Riyad swallowed. Glitch. He pressed record again. Hello, is anyone there? He smirked slightly. Playing along. Press stop. Pressed play. Static. Then his voice. Hello, is anyone there? A pause. Then, a reply. Immediate. Right after. Yes. Riyad's smile vanished. His fingers tightened around the recorder. No. He rewound it. Played it again. Same result. No delay. No gap. The second voice was responding. Perfectly timed. As if it had been waiting. Riyad stood up. Heart racing. This isn't real. He placed the recorder on the desk. Stepped back. The room felt colder. Quieter. Too quiet. Like the air itself was listening. The recorder clicked. On its own. The screen lit up. Playing. Riyad didn't touch it. Didn't move. A voice filled the room. Not from the speaker. From everywhere. You hear me now. Riyad backed away. Who are you? The recorder crackled. Then, I was inside. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. Until you opened it. Riyad shook his head. No, this is. The recorder beeped. Recording. His own voice came out. But he wasn't speaking. Get out. Riyad's eyes widened. His mouth wasn't moving. But his voice was. Please get out. He grabbed his throat. Trying to stop it. Trying to breathe. The recorder continued. It hurts. The voice changed. Distorted. Deeper. It's too small. Riyad stumbled back, knocking over his chair. The room shifted. Subtly. The corners felt darker. Longer. Wrong. The recorder stopped. Silence. Then, a new recording began. Without him touching it. A different voice. A different tone. This one is better. Riyad froze. Cold sweat running down his face. What do you want? The recorder responded instantly. A space. A pause. Your voice. Another pause. Your body. Riyad ran. Straight to the door. Grabbed the handle. Pulled. It didn't open. He pulled harder. Locked. But I didn't lock it. The lights went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Only the recorder's screen glowed. Soft. Green. It illuminated the floor. And something else. A shadow. But not his. It moved differently. Slowly rising. Stretching. Forming. Riyadh backed into the wall. Breathing heavily. No, no. The shadow pulled itself upward. From the floor. Like liquid turning solid. Then, it stepped forward. Into the faint glow. A figure. Human shape. But unfinished. Edges shifting. Face incomplete. Like it was still being formed. Almost. The voice echoed. Not from the recorder. From the thing itself. Just a little more. Riyadh shook his head violently. Take the recorder. He threw it. It hit the floor. Cracked slightly. But still on. Still glowing. The figure stopped. Turned its head. Slowly. Toward the recorder. Then. Back to Riyadh. You are the recorder now. The lights flickered back on. Bright. Blinding. Riyadh screamed. The next morning. The apartment was empty. No signs of struggle. No broken windows. No forced entry. Just silence. On the desk. The recorder. Clean. Undamaged. Playing. A new file. Timestamp 3:12 a.m. A voice spoke. Riyadh's voice. Calm. Clear. Perfect. Testing 1, 2, 3. A pause. Then. Another voice. Underneath. Layered. Wrong. He's inside now. The recording stopped. The screen flickered. Then displayed. Available storage, full story 4. There's a moment. Right before you fall asleep. When your reflection doesn't feel like you anymore. Most people ignore it. Sabiha didn't. And that's why it noticed her. It started with a video call. Nothing unusual. Just another late-night conversation between two sisters. Sabiha leaned back against her pillow, phone held above her face as the screen connected. Ringing. Ringing. Then, connected. Her younger sister, Nisha, appeared on screen. Finally, Sabiha sighed, you always take forever. Nisha smiled faintly. Sorry, I was in the bathroom. The connection was slightly unstable. The image lagged just a little. Nothing unusual. Why are you calling so late? Sabiha asked. Nisha hesitated. Then said quietly, do you have a mirror in your room? Sabiha frowned. What kind of question is that? Just answer. Sabiha rolled her eyes and turned the camera slightly. A wardrobe mirror stood behind her, reflecting part of the room. Happy. Nisha didn't respond immediately. Her eyes focused on something. Not Sabiha. Not the camera. But behind her. At the mirror. What? Sabiha asked. Nisha leaned closer to her screen. Why is it moving? Sabiha's smile faded. What do you mean? The mirror, Nisha whispered. Look at it. Sabiha turned slowly. Her reflection stared back. Normal. Perfectly aligned. She moved her hand. The reflection moved with it. See nothing. She stopped. Her hand was still raised. But the reflection lowered its hand half a second later. A delay. Tiny. But real. Sabiha's breath caught. Did you see that? Nisha didn't answer. She looked terrified. It moved late, Nisha said. It's not synced. Sabiha forced a laugh. Bad connection, maybe. It's not the call, Nisha said sharply. I'm not seeing your reflection through the call, I'm seeing it directly. It's wrong. Sabiha slowly lowered her hand. The reflection followed. This time, perfectly normal. She exhaled. See nothing. The reflection smiled. Sabiha didn't. Her face went still. Nisha. Her voice trembled. Is it smiling? Nisha whispered. Sabiha didn't respond. She couldn't. Because the reflection was still smiling. Wider. Too wide. Its eyes locked onto hers. And then it blinked. Sabiha hadn't blinked. The room fell silent. The air heavy. Thick. Wrong. Nisha's voice shook. Don't turn your back to it. Too late. Sabiha's body reacted instinctively. She turned to face the mirror directly. The reflection snapped back to normal. Perfectly synced again. No smile. No delay. Nothing wrong. Just her. Starring. Breathing. Alive. It's fine, Sabiha whispered. Nisha didn't sound convinced. Stay on the call. I am. Don't hang up. I won't. Sabiha sat back down on the bed, holding the phone tighter now. Her eyes kept drifting to the mirror. Checking. Watching. Waiting. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. The tension eased slightly. Maybe we're just tired, Sabiha said. Maybe. Nisha didn't sound sure. The call glitched. For a split second, Nisha's screen froze. Then resumed. Your internet sucks, Sabiha joked weakly. Yeah. Nisha paused. Sabiha. Yeah. Why are you standing? Sabiha frowned. I'm not. Silence. Then, Nisha whispered. Your reflection is. Sabiha's blood ran cold. Slowly. Very slowly. She turned her head. The mirror. Her reflection. Standing. Right in front of it. While Sabiha herself was still sitting on the bed. Her hands began to shake. That's not me. The reflection tilted its head, studying her, like she was the reflection now, not the other way around. Nisha's voice broke. Don't let it come out. Sabiha stood up abruptly. What do I do? Don't look at it. Too late. The reflection stepped closer. Inside the mirror. 1 step. 2. 3. Until it was right against the glass. Face to face. With her. And then, it lifted its hand. Pressed it against the mirror. From the inside, Sabiha screamed. The phone slipped slightly in her grip. Nisha shouted. Turn off the lights. WHY. Just do it. Sabiha lunged for the switch. The room went dark. Complete darkness. Only the phone screen illuminated her face. Her breathing ragged. Vast. Is it still there? Nisha whispered. Sabiha didn't answer. She couldn't. Because in the black screen of her phone, she saw it. Not in the mirror. Not behind her. But right next to her. Its face inches from hers. Smiling. Wider than before. Its eyes empty. Deep. Hungry. You let me out. It spoke. Without sound. Directly into her mind. Sabiha dropped the phone. The call ended. The next morning, Nisha called again. And again. And again. No answer. She rushed to Sabiha's apartment. The door was unlocked. Inside, everything looked normal. Too normal. The bed was made. The lights off. The mirror. Clean. Untouched. But Sabiha was gone. No trace. No struggle. Nothing. Just her phone. On the floor. Screen cracked. Still on. Still recording. Nisha picked it up. Hands trembling. Pressed play. The video began. Dark room. Shaky camera. Then, Sabiha, standing in front of the mirror. Smiling. Slowly. Unnaturally. And behind her, on the bed, something sat. Watching. Wearing her face. But not her. Never her. Call status disconnected. Last seen 2:43 a.m. STRY5. Some files aren't meant to be opened. Not because they're dangerous, but because once you see them, they see you too. Rafi was used to strange emails. Working as a freelance editor meant random clients, weird requests, and files from unknown sources. But this one felt different. It arrived at 2:03 a.m. No sender name. No profile picture. Just an email address made of random numbers. Subject line. Don't open this. Rafi smirked. Yeah, right. He almost deleted it. Almost. But curiosity always wins. He clicked. Inside. No message. No text. Just one attachment. A video file. Final view MP4. Size 47 MB. Rafi hesitated. Something about it felt wrong. Not dangerous. Just uncomfortable. Like the file was waiting. Watching. He hovered over it. Then clicked download. The file opened instantly. No buffering. No loading. Just play. The screen filled with grainy footage. Black and white. Low quality. Like security camera video. The camera angle. Familiar. Too familiar. Rafi leaned forward. That's my room. His desk. His chair. His bed. Everything. The camera was placed in the corner. High up. Watching. Recording. How is this possible? He paused the video. Looked around his real room. Nothing there. No camera. No device. No explanation. He pressed play again. The video continued. The room was empty. Still. Silent. For a long time. Nothing happened. Then, the door opened. Slowly. And someone walked in. Rafi's stomach dropped. It was him. Same clothes. Same face. Same everything. He watched as the version of himself in the video sat down at the desk. Opened the laptop. Started working. Exactly like he had been doing earlier. This is recorded footage. But it couldn't be. The angle didn't exist. The timing didn't match. The video skipped forward. Now, it was night. The version of Rafi was asleep in bed. Still, quiet, peaceful. The camera zoomed slightly. Closer, closer, until his sleeping face filled the screen. And then, a shadow moved. Behind him. On the wall. Rafi's breath stopped. There's nothing behind me. But in the video, there was a shape, tall, distorted, leaning over him, watching him sleep. The shadow bent lower, closer to his face. And then, the video cut. Black screen. Rafi exhaled sharply. Close the video. This is fake. It has to be fake. His hands were shaking. He stood up, checked the corners of his room. Nothing. No camera. No device. No explanation. His phone buzzed. A new email. Same sender. Same numbers. Subject: You watched it. Rafi's throat went dry. He opened it. Inside, one line. Continue. And the same file. Attached again. But this time, the file size had changed. 52 MB. Rafi hesitated. Then, clicked. The video resumed. Not from the beginning. From where it left off. The same room. Same angle. Same night. The shadow was still there. Now, clearer. More defined. It wasn't just a shadow. It had shape. Form. Limbs. Too long. Too thin. Its head tilted unnaturally. Like it was studying him. The sleeping version of Rafi didn't move. Didn't react. The thing leaned closer. Until its face, if it had one, was inches away. And then, it turned. Slowly. Directly toward the camera. Toward Rafi. Watching the screen. Rafi jumped back. No. The thing in the video was looking at him. Not the sleeping version. Him. Through the screen. The video glitched. Distorted. And then, the figure smiled. A wide, impossible smile. The screen went black. Rafi slammed the laptop shut. Breathing heavily. This isn't real. His phone buzzed again. Another email. Subject: Don't stop now. Rafi backed away from the desk. I'm not opening it. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then stabilized. His laptop turned on by itself. The screen lit up. The video playing again. Automatically. Rafi froze. He didn't touch it. Didn't click anything. The video had changed. Now, the room wasn't empty. The camera still in the same position. But this time, the real Rafi was sitting there, watching the screen, exactly as he was now. His heart pounded. That's right now. The video was live, or something close to it. The version of him in the video looked up, slowly, directly at the camera, then at something behind him. Rafi's breath caught. No, the version of him in the video stood up, slowly, eyes wide, terrified, staring at something behind him. Behind the camera. Rafi didn't move. Didn't turn. He couldn't. The video version whispered, Don't turn around. Rafi's hands trembled. His entire body locked. The screen flickered. The image glitched. And then, the camera angle changed. Now, it was behind him, showing his back, sitting in front of the laptop, watching, frozen, and behind him, something stood, tall, silent, waiting. Rafi squeezed his eyes shut. This isn't real. A whisper. Right behind him. Close. Too close. It is now. Rafi screamed. Spun around. Nothing. Empty room. No one there. He turned back to the screen. The video showed him turning, screaming, exactly what he just did. But behind him, the thing was still there. Now closer. Much closer. Its hand reaching toward him. Through the screen. The pixels warped, stretched, like reality was bending, trying to let it through. Rafi grabbed the laptop, threw it to the floor. The screen cracked. The video stopped. Silence. Heavy. Thick. Wrong. He backed away. Heart racing. I'm done, I'm done. His phone buzzed. One last email. Subject. Too late. Inside. No text. Just an image. Rafi opened it. It was a still frame. From the video. Him. Standing. Facing the camera. But his face wasn't his anymore. Distorted. Stretched. Smiling. Wrong. And behind him. Nothing. Because whatever had been there was gone. The next morning, Rafi's apartment was found empty. No signs of struggle. No forced entry. Just his laptop. On the floor. Screen broken. Still on. Still playing. The final frame. A room. Empty. Silent. Except for one thing. In the corner. A shadow. Waiting. File status opened. Access granted. Story 6. Everyone wakes up at night sometimes. That's normal. What's not normal is waking up and realizing you're not alone. Imran never believed in sleep paralysis. To him, it was just a scientific explanation. Your brain wakes up before your body. You hallucinate. You panic. That's it. Simple. Logical. Explainable. Until it happened to him. The first time. He woke up at 3:33 a.m. Exactly. He didn't check the time. He didn't need to. Because the clock was right in front of him. Glowing. Red digits. 3:33. He stared at it for a few seconds. Then tried to move. Nothing. His body didn't respond. His chest felt heavy. Like something was pressing down on him. Okay. He remembered reading about this. Sleep paralysis. Stay calm. Don't panic. It'll pass. He focused on his breathing. In. Out. In. And then he heard it. A sound. Soft. From the corner of the room. Like something dragging. Slow. Careful. Deliberate. Imran's eyes shifted. He didn't want to look. But he couldn't stop himself. The corner was darker than usual. Not shadow. Something else. Something deeper. And then it moved. A shape. Pulling itself out of the darkness. Tall. Too tall. Its limbs. Long. Unnaturally long. Bending the wrong way. Its head tilted sideways. Like it didn't understand how to hold it straight. Imran's heart started pounding. No, this is just hallucination. The thing crawled closer. Not walking. Not standing. Crawling. its joints cracking softly with every movement, its fingers dragging across the floor, leaving no marks, making no sound, except that faint dragging. Imran tried to scream. Nothing came out. His chest tightened, his breath shallow. The thing reached the edge of his bed. Stopped. Slowly. It lifted its head. Its face, or what should have been its face, was empty. No eyes. No mouth. Just smooth, pale skin. And yet, he knew it was looking at him, watching him, studying him. Then, a voice, not from it, not from the room, from inside his head. Don't move. Imran's thoughts froze. I can't move. A pause. Then, good. The thing leaned closer, hovering above him, its face inches from his. Cold air surrounded him. Sharp, heavy, and then, the clock changed. 3:34. The weight vanished. Imran gasped, sat up instantly. The room, empty. Nothing there. No figure. No sound. No proof. He laughed nervously. Just sleep paralysis. He got up, turned on the light, checked every corner. Nothing. Everything normal. But that feeling didn't leave. The second time, he woke up again. 3:33 a.m. This time, he didn't look at the clock. He already knew. His body, frozen again. His chest, heavy. But now, he didn't look at the corner. He kept his eyes forward. Focused. Breathing. It's not real. The room was silent. Too silent. And then, the voice. Closer this time. Clearer. You learned. Imran's heart pounded. He didn't respond. Didn't react. He just stared straight ahead. The bed creaked slightly. Behind him, something had climbed onto it. Slow. Careful. The mattress dipped. Weight shifting. Moving closer. Closer. Until he felt it. Right behind him. Breathing. Cold. Against his neck. Don't turn. Imran squeezed his eyes shut. Tears forming. I'm not. The thing's hand touched his shoulder. Light. Gentle. Wrong. Its fingers. Too long. Too thin. They traced slowly down his arm. Exploring. Learning. Memorizing. The clock ticked. 3:34. The pressure vanished again. Imran sat up, screaming this time. Lights on. Room empty. But his shoulder was cold. Ice cold. The third time. He didn't sleep. He tried not to. Drank coffee. Watched videos. Kept the lights on. I won't sleep. I won't let it happen. But eventually, his eyes closed. Just for a second. That's all it needed. 3:33 a.m. His eyes snapped open. He was on the floor. Not on his bed. His body, still frozen. But now, he wasn't alone. The thing was already there. Sitting across from him. Watching. Waiting. Its head tilted. Studying him. Like a teacher observing a student. You tried to escape. Imran's heart raced. This isn't real. The thing leaned forward. Closer. its blank face inches away. You are learning. A pause. Then, now you stay longer. The room stretched. Walls pulling away. Darkness filling the space. The clock. Gone. No time. No escape. Just him. And it. The thing reached out. Placed its hand on his chest, where the pressure always was. This time, it didn't lift. It pressed harder. Deeper. Imran felt like he was sinking. Falling inward. Into himself. Into something else. The voice whispered, "This is your place now." The darkness swallowed everything. The next morning, Imran didn't wake up. His body was found in his bed. Peaceful. No signs of struggle. No injuries. No explanation. Doctors said, cardiac arrest. Sudden. Unexplainable. But that night, at exactly 3:33 a.m., in the same room, the clock flickered, and for a brief moment, a shadow appeared. On the wall. Sitting on the bed. Watching. Waiting. For the next one to wake up. Rule: if you wake at 3:33 a.m. don't move. Story 7. Sometimes. The scariest voice you'll ever hear is your own. Adnan didn't expect the call. It came at 2:26 a.m. He was awake but barely. Scrolling aimlessly. Half asleep. The room dimly lit by his phone screen. Then, it rang. Unknown number. No caller ID. Just numbers. Random. Glitchy. Almost wrong. Adnan frowned. Who calls at this time? He almost ignored it. Almost. But something, a strange pull, made him answer. Hello. Silence. A soft static. Then, breathing. Faint. Unsteady. Hello, Adnan repeated. A pause. Then, a voice. Don't hang up. Adnan's body went still. That voice. It was his. Not similar. Not close. Exact. Same tone. Same rhythm. Same everything. What? He whispered. The voice on the phone spoke again. Listen carefully, you don't have much time. Adnan sat up. Fully awake now. Who is this? A pause. Then, it's you. Silence. Then Adnan laughed nervously. Okay, not funny. Who is this really? The voice didn't react. Didn't laugh. Didn't hesitate. Check your door. Adnan froze. What? Now. Something in the tone made him listen. He stood up slowly. Walked toward his bedroom door. His hand trembled as he reached for the handle. He opened it. The hallway. Empty. Dark. Normal. There's nothing here, he said. A pause. Then, good. Adnan frowned. What do you mean good? The voice exhaled slowly. Like relief. That means it hasn't started yet. A chill ran through Adnan's spine. What hasn't started? Silence. Then, listen to me. At 2:33 a.m. don't answer any calls. Adnan looked at his phone. Time. 2:28 a.m. Why? No answer. WHY. The voice spoke again. Lower. Shakier. Because that's when it learns your voice. Adnan's grip tightened on the phone. This is insane. A loud bang echoed from somewhere in his apartment. Adnan flinched. What was that? The voice on the phone went silent, then whispered, "It's early." Adnan's heart started racing. What's early? A pause. Then, "You answered too soon." The line crackled. Static grew louder. Then, another voice joined. Faint, distorted, also his. "Hello." Adnan pulled the phone away slightly. What the? The two voices overlapped. One calm, one broken. Don't listen to it. You already did. Hang up. Too late. Adnan shouted. Stop. The voices stopped instantly. Silence. Then, just one voice again. The original. Go to your mirror. Adnan hesitated. No. Gio. Something in that tone commanded him. He walked slowly toward the mirror on his wall. His reflection stared back. Normal. Unchanged. What now? He asked. The voice on the phone whispered. Watch closely. Adnan stared. Seconds passed. Nothing happened. Then, his reflection blinked. He didn't. Adnan stumbled back. No. The reflection smiled. Slow. Wide. Unnatural. Adnan's heart pounded. This isn't real. The reflection lifted its hand. Waved. Adnan's own hand stayed still. The voice on the phone spoke urgently. Do not let it speak. What happens if it does? Silence. Then, it replaces you. The reflection's mouth opened. Adnan screamed. Stop. The reflection froze. Mouth still open. Eyes locked on him. The voice on the phone. Now shaking. It's faster now. Adnan's breathing became erratic. What do I do? A pause. Then, break the loop. How? The voice didn't answer immediately. Then, you have to end the call. Adnan stared at the phone. That's it. No. A long pause. Then, before it becomes you. The room temperature dropped. The lights flickered. The reflection moved again. Stepping closer. Inside the mirror. Like it was walking toward him. From another space. Adnan backed away. No, no. His phone vibrated. Another incoming call. Same unknown number. The voice on the current call whispered. Don't answer that. The phone kept ringing. Louder. More aggressive. The reflection smiled wider. Its eyes. Now completely black. Adnan screamed. What do I do? The voice on the phone finally broke. Panicked. Desperate. You already know. Adnan's hand trembled over the screen. End call. Answer call. 2 options. 1 decision. The ringing grew louder. The reflection stepped closer. Closer. Almost at the surface. Almost out. The voice screamed. Now. Adnan closed his eyes. And pressed. End call. Silence. The ringing stopped. The room went still. The reflection snapped back. Normal. Perfect. Unmoving. Adnan collapsed to the floor, breathing heavily. It's over. His phone buzzed. One last time. A notification. Voicemail. From the unknown number. Timestamp. 2:33 a.m. Adnan stared at it. Slowly, he pressed play. His own voice filled the room. Calm. Cold. Not him. You chose wrong. The audio distorted. Then, I'm still here. Adnan looked up. At the mirror. His reflection was gone. The surface. Empty. Just a room. Without him. Behind him. A voice spoke. Soft. Close. Perfectly matching his own. Now it's my turn. The next morning, Adnan was reported missing. No signs of struggle. No forced entry. Just his phone. On the floor. Screen cracked. Still on. One missed call. From his own number. Call status. Connected. Story 8. Hospitals are supposed to be safe. Places where people go to heal. To recover. To survive. But sometimes, they're places you can't leave. When Rahat opened his eyes, everything was white. Ceiling. Lights. Walls. Even the air felt white. Sterile. Cold. Wrong. He blinked slowly, his vision adjusting. The faint hum of machines filled the silence. Beep. 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 He tried to move. Pain shot through his body. Sharp. Sudden. He gasped. Ezzy. A voice. Soft. Calm. Professional. A nurse stepped into view. Smiling gently. You're awake. Rahat frowned. Where am I? The nurse adjusted something on the monitor. You're in the hospital. He swallowed. What happened? A pause. Too long. Then, you were in an accident. Rahat searched his mind. Nothing. No memory. No images. Just blank. I don't remember. That's normal, the nurse said quickly. You've been unconscious for a few days. Rahat stared at the ceiling again, trying to piece things together. But there was nothing. Just emptiness. Can I see my family? The nurse hesitated. Just for a second. They'll come soon. Then she smiled again. Too perfectly. And left. Hours passed. Or maybe minutes. Time felt stretched. Unstable. The clock on the wall read 2:17 p.m. He closed his eyes. Opened them again. Still 2:17 p.m. He frowned. That's not right. He turned his head slightly. The hallway outside his room was empty. Too empty. No footsteps. No voices. No movement. Just silence. Heavy. Oppressive. Then, a sound. From down the hall. A stretcher. Rolling. Slow. The wheels squeaking faintly. Rahat watched. A body lay on it. Covered with a sheet. Face hidden. Two nurses pushed it past his room. Their faces blank. Expressionless. They didn't look at him. Didn't acknowledge him. Just passed by. And disappeared. The hallway fell silent again. Later, another nurse came in. Different this time. Older. Tired eyes. She checked his IV. Didn't smile. Didn't speak. Excuse me, Rahat said. She paused. Looked at him. Yes. Why is it so quiet? The nurse hesitated. Then said, It's night shift. Rahat frowned. But the clock. He looked. The clock still read. 2:17 p.m. He turned back. It hasn't changed. The nurse followed his gaze. Then, slowly, she reached up and turned the clock. The hands moved. Forced. Artificial. Now it read 9:42 p.m. Rahat's stomach dropped. That's not how clocks work. The nurse leaned closer. Her voice low. You shouldn't ask questions. A pause. Then, you weren't supposed to wake up. Rahat froze. What? But she was already leaving. Walking out. Fast. Like she didn't want to stay. That night, he couldn't sleep. Something felt wrong. Not just the silence. Not just the clock. Everything. The air. The walls. Even his own body. It didn't feel like his. At some point, he heard footsteps. Slow. Dragging. Coming closer. From the hallway. Rahat held his breath. The footsteps stopped. Right outside his door. A shadow appeared. Tall. Still. Then, the door creaked open. A man stepped in. Wearing a hospital gown. Like him. But his movements. Jerky. Unnatural. His head tilted to the side. Too far. Like his neck couldn't hold it properly. Rahat whispered. Hello. The man didn't respond. Just stood there. Staring. His eyes. Empty. No emotion. No recognition. Just void. Rahat's heart pounded. Are you okay? The man took a step forward. Then another. Slow. Unstable. They told me I was a patient too, he said. His voice. Broken. Glitching. Like a recording. What do you mean? The man smiled. A cracked, painful smile. They lie. The lights flickered. The machines beeped faster. They always lie. Rahat tried to sit up. Pain surged through him. Who lies? The man stepped closer. Right beside the bed. They say you came here. A pause. Then, but you didn't. Rahat's chest tightened. What are you talking about? The man leaned in. Close. Too close. His breath cold. Dead. You were already here. The lights went out. Darkness filled the room. Rahat screamed. The lights came back on. Bright. Blinding. The room. Empty. The man. Gone. The hallway. Silent again. Rahat's breathing was heavy. Vast. This is a nightmare. He pulled out his IV. Ignoring the pain. I need to leave. He stood up. His legs weak. Unstable. But working. He stepped into the hallway. Cold. Empty. Doors on both sides. All closed. Identical. No signs. No labels. No direction. He walked. Slowly. Carefully. Each step echoing. Too loud. Too hollow. Then, he saw it. At the end of the hallway. A door. Different. Marked. Exit. Relief flooded him. Finally, he rushed toward it. Grabbed the handle. Pulled. Locked. No. He pulled harder. Still locked. Behind him. A voice. Soft. Familiar. You can't leave. Rahat turned slowly. The nurse. The first one. standing there, smiling, same perfect smile. "What is this place?" he demanded. The nurse stepped closer. Calm, unbothered. "This is where you stay." "I'm not staying." "You already are." Rahat shook his head. "No, I came here. I was in an accident." The nurse's smile widened. "That's what we told you." Silence. "Then, you were never a patient." Rahat's mind went blank. "What?" The nurse tilted her head. "Studying him. You're part of the system." The walls flickered, glitched. For a split second, the hospital disappeared, revealing something else. Dark, endless, wrong. Then it snapped back. Rahat stumbled back. "No, no." The nurse stepped closer. "You help us keep them here." A pause. Then, "You just forgot." Rahat's reflection appeared in the glass of the exit door. He looked and froze. He wasn't wearing a patient gown. He was wearing a nurse's uniform. Stained, old, wrong. He turned to the nurse. She was gone. The hallway, empty. The doors, all open now. Inside each room, beds, patients, watching him, silently. Their eyes, empty, waiting. The clock at the end of the hall flickered, then displayed 2:17. Again. The next day, the hospital functioned normally. Doctors, nurses, patients, everything in order. But one nurse moved differently, slower, like he was learning, remembering, forgetting. Again. Status admitted. Condition permanent. Story 9. Some places are abandoned, left behind, forgotten. But some places are not empty. They're waiting. Siam never believed in haunted houses. To him, they were just old buildings. Broken walls, creaky floors, stories people made up to feel something. So when his friends dared him, he said yes, without hesitation. The house stood at the edge of a narrow dirt road, far from the city, far from noise, far from everything. It didn't look special, just old. The paint peeled off in strips, windows cracked, the front door slightly open, like it had been waiting for someone to walk in. "Still time to back out," his friend joked. Siam smirked. "Relax, it's just a house." He stepped forward, alone. The moment he crossed the doorway, the air changed. Not colder, not warmer, just heavier, like stepping into a place that didn't belong to the world outside. The door creaked behind him, slowly closing. He turned, pulled it open again, just to be sure. Still working, still normal. "See," he called out. Nothing. No reply. His friends had stayed outside, watching, waiting, probably laughing. Siam turned back inside. The floorboards groaned under his steps. Dust filled the air. The smell, old, rotting, forgotten. He pulled out his phone. Flashlight on. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing furniture covered in sheets, a table, a chair, a mirror, cracked, leaning against the wall. Everything looked untouched, like time had stopped. He walked deeper, each step echoing louder than it should. The house felt bigger inside. Wider. Longer. Wrong. Okay, this is a little creepy, he muttered. But he kept going. Because turning back would mean admitting something. And Siam didn't believe in fear. The hallway stretched ahead. Doors on both sides. All closed. Except one. At the end. Slightly open. A faint darkness inside. Different from the rest. Thicker. He walked toward it. Slowly. Carefully. The floor creaked louder now. Almost like footsteps following him. He stopped. Silence. Then, another creak. Behind him. He turned quickly. Nothing. Empty hallway. Doors closed. Still. Just the house settling. He turned back. The door at the end was now fully open. Siam froze. I didn't touch it. His grip tightened on the phone. He moved forward again. Heart beating faster. The room inside. Empty. Completely. No furniture. No windows. Just walls. Bare. And in the center, a single chair. Facing away from him. Someone was sitting on it. Siam stopped. Hello. No response. The figure didn't move. Didn't react. Just sat there. Still. Waiting. Siam swallowed. Hey, this isn't funny. He stepped closer. The air grew colder. The silence heavier. Who are you? The chair creaked. Slowly. The figure stood up. But didn't turn around. You came back. Siam's chest tightened. What? The voice. Familiar. Too familiar. It took you a long time. Siam stepped back. I've never been here before. The figure tilted its head slightly. Not like this. Silence. Then. You always forget. Siam's mind raced. This is some kind of prank. The figure turned. Slowly. Unnaturally slow. And when Siam saw the face, his blood ran cold. It was him. Same face. Same body. But older. Tired. Eyes sunken. Skin pale. Like something had been draining him for a long time. No. The other Siam smiled. A weak, broken smile. You said that last time too. Siam shook his head. This isn't real. The room shifted. Walls stretching. The space growing. The door behind him. Gone. No exit. The older version stepped closer. You keep coming here. A pause. Every time you try to leave. Siam backed away. There is no last time. The other Siam interrupted. There is. Another step closer. You just don't remember. The house groaned. Loud. Deep. Like it was alive. Like it was breathing. You think this place is abandoned. A pause. It is. The walls pulsed. Slow. Rhythmic. Like a heartbeat. It's full. Siam looked around. The empty walls. Now covered. With marks. Scratches. Words. Names. Dozens. Hundreds. All carved into the surface. Different handwriting. Different depths. But one thing. Every name was the same. Siam. Over and over. Layered. Repeated. Endless. No. The older version whispered. You tried to leave. A pause. Every time Sam turned, looking for the door. Any door. Nothing. Just walls. Closing in. The older Sam stepped closer. Right in front of him now. You thought you escaped. A faint smile. But the house. He leaned in. Close. Too close. Doesn't let you go. The lights flickered. Darkness crept in. From the corners. From the walls. From everywhere. Sam's breathing became frantic. I'm not staying here. The older version nodded slowly. You always say that. A pause. Then, you always stay. The floor beneath Sam shifted. Soft. Unstable. Like sinking. Like something was pulling him down. The darkness reached his feet. Climbing. Wrapping. Holding. The older Sam stepped back. Watching. Waiting. You'll forget again. The darkness reached his chest. His arms. His throat. You always do. Sam screamed. But no sound came out. The darkness swallowed him completely. The house fell silent again. Still. Empty. Waiting. Outside. His friend stood near the door. Laughing. Talking. Waiting. Bro, taking too long. Should we check? Yeah, let's go. They stepped inside. One by one. Calling his name. Sam. No answer. The house. Quiet. Empty. Like no one had ever entered. Inside the hallway. A door slowly creaked open. At the end. Waiting story 10. You think you're watching this. You think you're in control. You think this is just a story. But what if it's watching you back? Fahim noticed it on the third night. Not the first. Not the second. The third. Because that's when patterns begin to break. It started simple. A video. Recommended. Late at night. No title. No thumbnail. Just black. He clicked it. Because that's what people do. The video began instantly. No intro. No sound. Just a room. Dark. Empty. A camera placed in the corner. Watching. Nothing happened. Seconds passed. Then minutes. Fahim frowned. What is this? He almost closed it. But something kept him there. Watching. Waiting. Because it felt like something was about to happen. After 5 minutes, the video ended. No explanation. No payoff. Just stopped. Fahim checked the comments. Nothing. No comments. No likes. No views. Just him watching. Weird. He refreshed the page. The video was gone. No history. No record. Like it had never existed. The next night, it came back. Different link. Same video. Same room. Same silence. But this time, something changed. Barely noticeable. The chair in the corner was slightly moved. Fahim leaned closer. Was that there before? He couldn't remember. That bothered him. More than it should. The third night. He waited for it. Actively. Refreshing. Searching. Until it appeared again. Same black thumbnail. No title. He clicked. The video loaded. The room again. But now, the camera angle was different. Lower, closer, like it had moved, or been moved. Fahim's heartbeat slowed. Okay, that's new. He stared, focused, trying to catch something. Anything. Then, movement. In the corner. A shadow. Shifting. Subtle. But real. Fahim froze. There's someone there. The shadow grew, slowly forming shape. A figure. Standing. Still. Watching. Facing the camera. Facing him. The video cut. Fahim sat back, breathing uneven. That wasn't there before. His room felt colder, quieter. He looked around. Everything normal, but not safe. The fourth night. He didn't want to watch, but he did. Because now, he needed to know. The video appeared again. He clicked. The room. Closer now. The camera almost at eye level. The figure. Clearer. Standing in the center. Facing forward. But its face. Still hidden. In shadow. Fahim leaned closer. Show your face. The figure moved. One step forward. The screen flickered. The image glitched. And for a split second, Fahim saw it. His own room. On the screen. Exactly as it was now. His desk. His chair. His bed. Everything. Then, it snapped back. The dark room again. The figure. Gone. The video ended. Fahim stood up. Heart pounding. No, that's not possible. He turned around. Checked his room. Same as always. Nothing changed. Nothing wrong. But something felt off. Like he wasn't alone anymore. The fifth night. The video didn't wait. It autoplayed. The moment he opened his phone. No click. No choice. Just play. The screen filled with the room. But now, the camera was outside it. Looking in. Through a doorway. And inside. The figure stood. Facing away. Fahim whispered. Turn around. The figure stopped. Slowly. It tilted its head. Like it heard him. Fahim's breath caught. No. The figure began to turn. Slow. Unnatural. And as it did, the screen flickered again. Showing Fahim sitting, watching, from behind. Live. Real time. Fahim dropped his phone. It hit the floor. Still playing. He stared at it. Frozen. On the screen. He was still there. Still sitting. Still watching. Even though he was the version of him in the video. Turned his head. Slowly. Directly toward the camera. Toward him. Smiling. Fahim backed away. This isn't real. The video voice spoke. Not from the phone. From everywhere. You're learning. Fahim's body went cold. What? The screen flickered again. Now, the camera was inside his room. Facing him. Standing. Watching. The angle. Impossible. There was no camera there. No device. Nothing. But the view was real. Accurate. Perfect. You thought you were watching. The voice whispered, "But you were being shown." Fahim shook his head violently. "No." The video version of him stood up, slowly, mirroring him, perfectly, step by step, movement by movement. "You copied everything." A pause. "Now it's your turn." The screen went black. Silent. Heavy. Final. Fahim's phone buzzed. A notification. New upload. No title. No thumbnail. He didn't open it. He didn't need to, because he already knew what it would show. The next day, Fahim was gone. No trace. No explanation. Just his phone. On the floor. Screen cracked. Still on. Still playing. The video. The room. Empty. Waiting. And then, movement. In the corner, a new figure appeared. Standing. Still. Watching. Waiting. For the next viewer. Final story. Every story has an ending. A final scene. A last line. A moment where everything stops. This isn't one of those stories. You started listening without thinking. That's how it works. No warning. No choice. Just curiosity. And now, you're here. Karim didn't notice when it began. Because nothing changed. That's the problem. When something breaks reality, it doesn't always look broken. Sometimes, it looks exactly the same. It was late. Past midnight. The kind of silence that feels louder than noise. Karim sat alone in his room. Phone in hand. Scrolling. Video after video. Until he found one. No title. No thumbnail. Just black. He clicked. Because of course he did. The video didn't start. It was already playing. A room. Dark. Empty. Familiar. Too familiar. Karim frowned. That looks like. He stopped. Because he recognized it. It was his room. Exactly. Same angle. Same lighting. Same everything. But the camera angle didn't exist. It was impossible. Placed somewhere that wasn't there. Watching him, Karim looked up. At his real room. Then back at the screen. Same. Perfectly synced. He waved his hand. The version in the video waved back. At the same time. No. He leaned closer. This is live. But how? There was no camera. No device. No explanation. The video didn't have sound. At first, just silence. Just him. Watching himself. Then, a faint noise. Static. Building. Growing. Until a voice. Soft. Whispering. Not from the video. From his room. You made it this far. Karim froze. What? The voice continued. You listened to everything. A pause. Every story. Karim's breath stopped. How do you? You stayed. The lights flickered. Once. Twice. The screen glitched. And for a moment, the version of Karim in the video didn't match him. It moved differently. Delayed. Watching him. Not copying him. Karim stepped back. Heart racing. This isn't real. The video version smiled. Slow. unnatural. Karim wasn't smiling. You thought they were stories. The voice whispered, but they were instructions. The room temperature dropped. Cold air filled his lungs. Sharp. Painful. What instructions? The video version stood up. Slowly. But Karim hadn't moved. You followed every step. A pause. You opened. Karim's mind flashed. The file. The call. The mirror. The door. All of it. All the stories. All the moments. You watched. The walls creaked. Soft. Deep. Like something shifting inside them. You listened. Karim backed away. No. The video version stepped closer to the screen. Closer. Closer. Until its face filled the frame. Eyes. Completely black. You learned. The screen flickered. Hard. Violently. And then, the camera angle changed. Now, it was behind Karim, showing his back, standing, facing the screen, even though he was still stepping away. No. The voice dropped. Lower. Deeper. Now you understand. The reflection, not reflection. The version reached forward, toward the screen, and the screen moved, pushed outward, like something was trying to come through. Reality bent, warped, stretched. Karim screamed, but no sound came out. You don't stop watching. The voice whispered. You don't leave. The thing stepped out, from the screen, into the room, wearing his face. But wrong. Everything wrong. You continue. Karim fell back, breathing violently. What do you want? The thing tilted its head, smiled. I don't want. A pause. I replace. Silence. Heavy. Final. The next morning, nothing was reported. No missing person. No disturbance. No sign. Because everything was normal. Karim woke up. As usual. In his room. In his bed. Same life. Same routine. Same world. He checked his phone. Scrolled. Stopped. A video appeared. No title. No thumbnail. Just black. He clicked. The video began. A room. Dark. Empty. Familiar. A figure sat in the corner. Watching. Waiting. Slowly. It looked up. And smiled. At the screen. At him. At you. Because now, it's not Karim. Not anymore. It's whoever watches next. And the worst part, you won't remember this. Not clearly. Just a feeling. A small thought. In the back of your mind. That something is watching you. Right now. This story doesn't end.